saying, I'm not blaming the victim, but, like Boston radio host John DePetro, who has publicly questioned what Emmett was doing drinking at 4 a.m. He said anyone who's out alone at 4 a.m. drinking with strangers is, quote, asking for trouble. My viewers know I believe, I believe saying I'm not blaming the victim, but is to blame the victim. And he joins me now, Boston's WRKO radio host, John DePetro. John, thanks a lot for coming on the program. Appreciate it.
No problem, Dan.
Would you be making the same comments if a young guy was killed after drinking late at night at a bar?
Well, that's not what happened here.
Right.
I mean,
but I'm asking you, would it be different?
I don't think it's fair to say, is anyone blaming her? I mean, I think most people look at this and say she made a mistake. And I think there is a difference between a young woman and a young man. There were a lot of people in that bar that night. Why did he target her? Would he have targeted her if she was on a date? Would he have targeted her if she was with another girl? It's seemingly, if everything fits together, he targeted her because it was 4 a.m., she was alone and drunk and seemed vulnerable. So
what is the curfew for women that they shouldn't go out? What time should they not go out after?
Well, she was with her friends. I mean, there is no curfew. And Dan, this is a matter of common sense. Anybody, can answer that question on their own. But you tell me, is it safe to go out and walk your dog at 8 o'clock is the same as it is at 3 o'clock?
But again,
this isn't a matter of curfews.
Asking those questions now and talking about Emmett is not like saying to your kid in private, hey, be careful. It's basically saying Emmett did something wrong. You're admitting that, right? That you're claiming Emmett did something wrong.
I think she made a mistake.
Right, and that's blaming the victim. How else can you characterize that?
Well, how do you characterize Natalie Holloway, who got
it's her
drunk
fault
and
too,
drove off with 3 guys? I think they heighten their risk for something bad to happen.
And you think it's useful to sit here and talk about what these young women did wrong because why?
You don't think we should draw attention to this? You don't think we should draw more awareness to this?
Absolutely not. I will not. I will not blame
You think it's an act of God. Could have happened to anybody, any place, any time. I don't believe it. No way.
So let me ask you this. All right. So then when someone gets hurt in an accident driving cross country, right, as opposed to flying, do you say to them, why did you drive? Driving is so much more dangerous than flying.
What about a drunk driver? Do they mean to kill anybody or hurt themselves?
I'm asking
Why is it a different issue?
Because drunk driving is illegal. Emmett didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything illegal. Don't compare what Emmett did to a drunk driver. It's not the same. It is the same to say someone who chooses to drive cross country because they thought it would be nice to just take a drive, and then you say they got killed in an accident driving across the country. It's a lot more dangerous than flying. Is that a fair question to ask then?
No, Dan, you're wrong. Young women are under attack, and young women are the target here.
Drivers are dying every day on our highways. Why don't you ask the same questions of people who drive cross country? I'm making a point here. You're not. Look, I'm just in terms of our debate. I mean, you understand the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that you are unfairly isolating this because she's a woman, and you're basically saying young women shouldn't be out drinking, period.
I'm not saying young women should not be out drinking, period. I'm saying they heighten the risk for something to happen when they're alone at 4 a.m. and they're drunk.
Should young black men not go into primarily white bars if there's a concern they might get attacked racially?
It's not a matter of what they, should they not.
That's what you're doing. I'm saying let's not ask should they or should they not. I'm saying I don't care what happened. She's an innocent victim. You're saying we should ask why was she there? What should she have done differently? You're the one asking the should you.
No, Dan, most people's reaction is she was with her friends. She was safe then. Women are safe in a group. Women are a target. Young women are a target. You can't ignore that. Look at the date rape drugs. They're looking at whether or not she was drugged. It is not the same for a man or a woman. It's more dangerous for women, and women have to be aware of that.
And again, it's more dangerous for women to go out to a bar at night.
No, it's more dangerous for young women to be alone, drunk in a bar at 4 a.m. at night.
And they should expect that it is possible they will be raped, murdered, have a sock stuffed down their throat, and have packing tape wrapped around their face.
God forbid, no, they should not. But I'm in Boston, which is a big college town, and the colleges always warn the young girls about life is different in a big city. Life is different on a college campus, and you cannot just ignore this as an random act of God that could have happened to anybody, anywhere, 10 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock at night. No one believes that.
But when you start talking that way, and look, my problem is when you start using Emet as an example to start talking that way, whether you say I'm not blaming the victim but or not at the beginning of the sentence, you are blaming the victim.
But Dan, look at one of your guests said that maybe they should name a law after her. I mean, why not create more awareness at this? The same way we have more awareness now for children. Or up here there was the
So you want to use Emet as a poster child for what women around America should not do. Fair?
It's not. No, it's not use her. It's let's look at this as what can happen when you are alone and you're a target and it's 4 a.m. and you're intoxicated. It is different between men and women.
All right, let me do this. Let me take a break. John, if you could just stick with us for a minute.
Yes.
Coming up, we'll continue this debate. We'll bring in our